These two dental flashes are the epitome of what flashes for dental photography should be like. This is the first time that a company has listened to our problems and made specific macro flashes for dental photography. This is the first time flashes know that they're taking pictures of teeth and it just works seamlessly. Let's get into the review. Welcome back to our channel, guys. My name is Zoe and I'm a dentist working here in London, and this is the next part of my dental photography series. Now, Godox sent me their two new flashes to review. This is the Godox MF R76 S Plus ring flash, and this is the Godox MF12 DK1 twin flash kit. Now, even though Godox sent me these flashes, this video isn't sponsored by Godox and no money exchanged hands, and Godox doesn't get any input into the production of this actual video. And just to note, these two flashes are specific for Sony Mirrorless cameras, but Godox is currently working on producing the equivalent versions for Canon and Nikon as well, and they will be released soon. If the Canon and Nikon versions for the dental versions aren't released, you can still buy the Godox MF12 flash or the ring flash, but you will just have to buy the trigger for the twin flash separately, but it just won't have that kind of dental calibration that I'm going to talk about in a second. All the links to the products I'll be mentioning will be in the description down below the like button. Now, the reason these two flashes are very impressive is because Godox has collaborated with Sony and has calibrated these two flashes specifically for dental photography. So their predecessors, the ones that you can currently buy for Canon and Nikon, don't have this plus dental photography calibration that I'm talking about. But now for Sony, they have finally managed to get it sorted. This means that it's now much easier to just pick up the camera as a beginner and start taking photos. Now, for those of you who have seen my previous videos on dental photography, know that I'm a big fan of using manual settings on my flash, which means I tell the flash how much power to output. When it comes to manual flash settings, these flashes are the same as their predecessors, but where they shine is in their automatic mode, also known as TTL. TTL stands for through the lens, and when you point the camera, based on what the camera sees through this lens, the flash will decide how much power to give. Now, on these two flashes, their TTL modes, or their automatic modes, are specifically calibrated for dental photography. This means they're producing much more reliable and consistent results, which makes it so much easier for beginners. When you're just starting out with dental photography, you have so many things to think about. So you have the positioning of the patient, the mirror, the retractors, the settings on the camera itself, the fogging of the mirror, and so adding manual flash settings into the equation can make it that much more difficult to start up. So my current recommendation for beginners is to start with these TTL modes on these flashes, which will work seamlessly, and after some months of becoming comfortable with positioning and holding the camera, you can start to experiment with manual flash settings. Now, before I move on to the next part, I would really appreciate it if you guys give this video a like. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people. Thank you. Now, to get into the review of the actual flashes, so I'll start off with the ring flash. In the box, it comes with all the different ring sizes for the adapters you might need, and for the Sony 90mm lens, you will actually need the 62mm adapter. The beauty of the ring flash setup is how easy it is to set up and start taking photos straight away. It has a powerful modeling light which will help with getting focus, especially with the focus peaking on these Sony mirrorless cameras, and the TTL mode works flawlessly. With other flashes, sometimes I find they're good with TTL mode when I'm further out, but when I get really close up to the teeth, they don't reduce the flash power enough. But this doesn't happen at all with this ring flash and the twin flash as well. And that's all down to the calibration that Godox have done. Now, this ring flash also comes with the standard Godox VB26 batteries, which is great because you can always just buy another backup one to have just in case this one runs out on clinic. You can't do that with the twin flash, however, because you have to charge them with USB-C. There's no removable batteries with the twin flashes. But saying that, honestly, both of these flashes are very good with battery life and they easily last me the week. Another great thing about both of these flashes actually is the amazingly fast recycling time. This is how many seconds you have to wait for the flash to recharge so you can take another photo. And these flashes are quick. Look at this video of me just spamming the button. They just keep going, and then eventually after a few photos they slow down. This was one of the problems I previously had with my previous Miike twin flashes because I would have to wait about 3 to 4 seconds before taking each shot. So all in all, the ring flash is honestly immaculate. I genuinely have no issues with it, and for a ring flash it's perfect at getting anterior shots and very well lit posterior shots. Now onto the twin flash, and I have to say I absolutely love this twin flash kit. It comes in a beautiful box, and again, it has everything you need to get started. It includes the two twin flashes, the transmitter, the ring adapter to attach these flashes to your lens, and also these brand new diffusers. Similar to the ring flash, this transmitter, the X Pro 2 S Plus, is specifically calibrated for dental photography. And if you go into the settings, there's actually a dental mode you can turn on. It's very easy to use, it's got a simple menu, which takes no longer than a minute to set up the first time you use this flash. This flash setup specifically, the one with the adapter on the ring, is perfect in my opinion for beginners or someone who's a little bit more advanced and wants to get used to using twin flashes. It means you don't have to worry about getting a bracket, and you can still get really good anterior shots, and because this flash is much stronger than other twin flashes like the Miike one, you can put the power up and still get very well lit posterior shots without having to use a bracket. Now if you do want to get a bracket, Godox do actually sell their own bracket separately, the Godox MFDB. But to be honest, when I tested it, I didn't really like it that much. The only advantage it has over the OWL bracket is that the camera is slightly lifted and so the bracket doesn't scratch the bottom of your lens. But on the OWL bracket, I fixed that easily by using a plate and a riser. The main issue I have with the Godox bracket is the way the inner arms of the bracket get in the way of my right hand when I'm gripping the camera. When I try to position the flashes in a way that they're close to the lens for posterior shots, there's just no space for my fingers and I can't tilt the camera down comfortably. But with the OWL bracket, there's plenty of space and it's comfortable. So my current recommendation is still the good old OWL bracket. Now, moving on to the diffusers, I have to say I'm very impressed. They do a very good job at diffusing the light and aren't too big or bulky. At one point, I'm probably going to make a video comparing all these different types of twin flash diffusers on the market, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out when I release that video. So all in all, this twin flash kit is phenomenal. The ease of use, the quality of the photos it produces is fantastic, and when paired with an OWL bracket, you have very easy control of the position of the flashes. I honestly think at this point, the Godox MF12 are by far the best twin flashes on the market. And remember, as I said before, you can still buy the MF12 for Canon and Nikon cameras by buying the MF12 kit and a Godox X Pro 2 for Canon or Nikon respectively. But as I said before, Godox are working to make specific dental versions for Canon and Nikon, and by the time you're watching this, they may already be released, so make sure you check the description of the video for any updated links. So what are the main differences between these two flashes? I'll go into a lot more depth in part 1 of my dental photography series, again link in the description, but the main difference between these two flashes is of course the positioning of the flash and how it reflects light on the tooth. Twin flashes are great at showing off the primary anatomy of the teeth. With the right diffusion, they can make photos seem a lot more aesthetic and pleasing to the eye. They almost hide some imperfections. Now, which flash you get is up to you, and again, if you watch part 1, you'll have a much better understanding of the differences, but my favorite is always going to be the twin flash because I just love dental photography, right? I want to have full control, full flexibility. But if you're a beginner, you want something quite easy to use, lightweight, you don't have to fiddle around with it, you can get good anterior shots and posterior shots, I think the ring flash is probably the best one for you. Now, I recommend pairing these flashes with a Sony body like an A6400 and the Sony 90mm macro lens. Now, if you're a little bit more advanced and want to get a camera that has a full sensor, I would recommend a Sony a7 III or a Sony a7 IV. I'll put the links in the description for all the products, and if you want to check out my blog post, I have recommended setups for lots of different brands like Canon and Nikon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe and share it with your friends so they can learn too. If you have any questions about dental photography, make sure you put it in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.